Hello, everyone. Welcome to Security Pulse. We have with us, she needs no introduction. Welcome, Teri, to the show. How did you come into the cybersecurity world?
I've been specializing in business development for over 10 years.
The more relentless you become, there's a good chance of getting what you need. What are the common mistakes you see sales professionals make?
Remember those small details, like take them, internalize them, put them in your notes if you have to.
What is the biggest myth about sales you would love to bust?
In order to be promoted, I was told I need to hit 8 to 10 meetings a week.
One thing you can't live without during a busy work
Regardless, I've made a lot of friends. You are a perfect example, Taha.
If you weren't in sales, what career would you be in and why?
Everything. And I love to be able to help people and build those genuine relationships.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Security Pulse, your go-to channel for cybersecurity topics. Here we bring in industry leaders. We talk about different topics from cybersecurity to AI to telecom, and we share with you the insights. Today, I have chosen a different topic. It has nothing to do with technical design solutions. It's about how do you win the customers? How do you make the right sales pitch? And how do you go from the solution phase to the sales phase, right? And to cover this, we have with us Teri Valdez. She needs no introduction. She has been in the industry for a while now, and she's been like spreading her generosity to different industries, as well as she's redefining how genuine relationships can outperform even the slickest sales scripts. Welcome, Teri, to the show, and let's unpack how kindness and connections can transform the way we sell.
Absolutely, Taha. Thank you so much for the warm introduction, and thanks for having me.
I'm so excited.
Me too. I'm glad we're not talking about technical design, because that's certainly not, that's way above my pay grade.
Okay, so Teri, before we jump into the questions, I want to start off with something which is like the early part of your career. So I want to know that how did you come into the cybersecurity world? So if you can tell us something about the early part of your career, when did you complete your education? What is your first job, and how did you end up like reaching to where you are right now?
Yeah, absolutely. So I've been specializing in business development for over 10 years. So I'd say 13, 14 years. And my first 5 years, I had no idea what I was doing. I was basically winging it. And I didn't realize that I actually possess a talent and a skill in doing lead generation. When I first started, I was at a lead generation firm. I was calling on multiple technologies, everything from employee experience tools to cybersecurity to soft phones, just any kind of technologies. I was doing business to business sales.
Okay.
When I first started, I was averaging 5 to 6 meetings a week. And in order to be promoted, I was told I need to hit 8 to 10 meetings a week. And I was like, man, I can't do that. That's a lot of meetings. But
yeah.
Long story short, I was able to rise to the occasion. And that's when I really realized, wow, I'm good at this. I'm good at this. So from there, when it was time to move on from that company, I wanted to choose something where I could have a genuine positive impact on people's lives. And you and I have both seen it, when a hospital is being breached or mid-breach and test results aren't getting out on time, there are literal lives that are lost, and so that's what made me feel okay, this is a technology that I can sell that can actually literally save lives in some cases. So when I left the lead gen firm, I ended up going to a cool cybersecurity startup. Loved it there. Unfortunately, I was laid off, but I quickly found a new home here at App Omni. So I've been doing cybersecurity for about 2 years, and there's so much to learn. So and I'm loving it.
And just on this note, I'll tell you a small story. So I was every morning I go to drop my son to school, and there's a podcast which I really like. And one of my favorite sales leader, I would say, or the person who I listened to is Jim Ron. And Jim was telling a cool story that he was also a sales leader, and he has been speaking. He has been one of the famous speakers, of this age, and he was telling a story that once he was lacking his sales KPIs, he was not hitting the goals which he was setting. So what he did, he increased the number of sales calls he was doing. So previously, when I was not hitting the goals, he was just making 5 calls, and then when he started making 20 calls or 30 calls, then he was like sort of hitting that numbers. So the
Yeah,
more you do, the more relentless you become. There's a good chance of getting what you need. So there is this is something which I would like to share it here. Uh,
absolutely.
so moving on, Terry, I know you have built a reputation around authentic relationships, and you actually thrive on this. And I want to know if you can share us a moment when leading with generosity and connections help you securing a massive deal.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So this actually makes me think of the hundreds of doors that I've opened for companies that I've worked for or worked with. I lead with warmth and respect, understanding that cold callers do have a bad rep. Nobody wants to be cold called. But because I lead with warmth, because I lead with relevance, and I'm able to build rapport and trust quickly, that's what brings the deals to the finish line. So, rephrase and pause.
Yeah.
Is it pause? Okay. So is there, I don't have any like deals that I'm aware of. Like, okay, in my past when I was setting meetings and stuff, like I would just set the meeting would hold, and I would never have visibility into whether or not the meeting closed or not. This is the first company where I'm actually being able to see like a deal go over the finish line. And we haven't, I've been here for 6 months. I have lots of deals in the pipeline that are in conversations, but they're enterprise sales. So can we rephrase the question to where it's not about deals and just about like positive interactions or something? I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm
So
sorry.
one of the things what I have noticed when somebody is reaching to someone is they are afraid of that how that person would react to, right? If you are,
Mhm.
let's say if you are doing a LinkedIn message to someone which you think can be a potential customer looking at their profile,
Mhm.
but you're afraid of saying hello to them and like reaching out to them, because the people at this point of time, they can easily figure out that why they are sending me the request, or why they are sending me the LinkedIn message. So
Yeah.
what is your view in trying to uh, like hit the right message, or you know uh, hit the right tone, so that the other person would be able to respond back to you? Like what is your, let's say, secret recipe when you want people to respond to you?
Yeah, absolutely. So when I'm reaching out to somebody on LinkedIn, it's very well researched. Like I can see what they're involved in. Titles can be ambiguous. So when I do reach out, I never send a blank request. I always lead with, hey, these are the problems that I help solve. I play with my messaging until I find one where a lot of people start at least accepting my connection requests, and then I run with that because it works, So I lead with what I do, the areas that I help, the problems, the really big problems that I help solve for within cybersecurity, within their role, and I get a ton of acceptances. Now, if there's somebody that has some personality injected into their profile, that makes it a lot more fun because I'm also able to like respond and mirror with those kinds of personality nuances. I don't know if you've noticed, but like right now, my hair is natural. Sometimes I'll wear my hair in braids with colors and like bright colors. And I've seen some folks with like their LinkedIn profile, they have purple hair or something. And I'm just
Ah,
like, oh my
nice.
goodness, I love your hair. I just got done changing mine from blue to pink, something like that. I always try to personalize and humanize everything that I do and find something to really build, common ground on, you know, before just diving right into a pitch. That's for people with personality. With folks that just have all of their professional information on their LinkedIn, I just stick to, the facts. These are the problems that I solved for. solve for. And, once they accept my connection request, we take it from there. I try to inject some of my personality in, and if they respond in like, then we build from there. But if they're just strictly
Nice.
business, then I keep it strictly business too.
Nice. I want to pick up on two things which you mentioned. So you mentioned about catching up. First of all, you mentioned about doing a research on your potential customers, right? This is so very important.
Mhm.
Uh, and second thing you mentioned about as you're doing the research, you tend to pick up on something which they are looking, which they will be looking for, or what is the personality like looks like, and then you will put yourself in their shoes and just uh, convey them the message, because that is they are looking for. They want to reach, they want to connect with you on some middle ground. So the research that you will do would allow you to be more authentic when you will send the message to him, as well as you'll be not just selling them the product. You will be actually reaching them to solve some problems which they are facing. That would
Yeah.
help the case to build, and there would be more there will be a good chance for them to respond to you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm not perfect. I've missed my mark before, Some people will accept, and then I'll ping them and I'll try to get them to engage, and a few months will go by, and maybe I'll review their profile again, or I notice something that they posted, and then I go back and I'm like, "Hey, did I completely miss the mark? Is that why you haven't been responding?" Sometimes I'll call them out directly and they're like, "Yeah, I have nothing to do with that." And I'm like, "Oh, well, cybersecurity architect is a broad, title.
Yeah, yeah,
I won't know unless you tell me type thing."
yeah.
So yeah, yeah,
One of
absolutely.
the funniest thing, or I would say one of the message that stood out for me is, um, I was visiting an RSA conference, not this one, the last one.
Mhm.
There was a salesperson, a famous salesperson. I don't want to name them, but
Okay.
they sent me a video message on my LinkedIn.
Mhm.
Uh, like, hey, Taha, and I know you're visiting RSA and you'll be looking for these solutions. Like, by the way, there is a good restaurant nearby which you can go to. Uh,
Mhm.
as well as if you have some free time, you can check out these few options that I think would be you'll be looking for, and these are your potential customers, and these are your potential like vendors.
Mhm.
And this is how we compete with the rest of our competitors, right? So
Yeah.
in 1 minute, she is building the general connection in which she's telling me which restaurants are the good ones nearby. That is one which is
That's
which is like
huge.
super. Like the second is she has done good research on the things which I will be looking for, and thirdly she's telling me that how she is better than the rest of the market, right?
Yeah.
Which is the value proposition part that she's bringing into the message as well. So if I notice someone like sending me this message, because I know like she's been working hard on it, right? So uh,
Mhm.
the least thing I should do is at least respond to her message, and just say that, hey, I'm good and thank you for responding to me. So this is something in which like the trust can build, right? And
Mhm.
if I would be then looking out for some vendors, I know that, hey, this person has reached out to me before, and this is, and I should just check with her like first before I reach to a different player.
Yeah, absolutely. I wish more folks were like you. That's so funny. But yes, that's amazing. That's a great example. You
So yeah, please go ahead.
I was going to say, when you're doing your sales motions and you connect with somebody on LinkedIn,
Mhm.
first of all, I'm wondering, do you struggle in getting them to engage after the connection? Right. And then if you do struggle, like, what do you do to get them to respond? Like, you've accepted my connection request, like, let's chat, but they just won't respond. Have you run into that? And how do you combat that?
Yeah, that's a great question, Terry. And I've been working like to overcome this for a while now. Because like no matter how much you grow, there is always a chance of learning. And there is always improvement every day. So this is one part of it which I'm constantly working on.
Me
So
too.
what I do in my case is, when let's say I have started a conversation and they're not responding to me, I try to pick up uh, or try to research on what things that they're looking for and why they're not responding to me. Maybe they're not the decision makers.
Hmm.
The thing which I'm asking them, they're not their responsibility, or
Hmm.
maybe they don't have the budget for this right now, or maybe it's not the right time, so for example, I have few customers inside Saudi Arabia, and I was telling them, hey, my solution is the best solution in the world, and I can help you, save like millions dollars, or all those things, right?
Hmm.
Like then I realized that when I'm sending them these messages, it is the Hajj season there, which
Hmm.
is the pilgrimage season inside Saudi Arabia, and they are on their leaves, right?
Oh,
Or some people who are working there, maybe they are busy in some other activities which are related to that traffic pattern, or maybe on that like period you have to do some preparation for the Hajj activities, right? So
yeah,
this is maybe not the right time, right?
yeah.
So like then you have to sort of reiterate your message. Like for example, I'll say that, hey, I know there are Hajj activities going on,
Hmm.
uh, but I know like after Hajj you will be coming up with some compliance requirements from your regulatory bodies, and this is the way that you can help. And it's okay if you are busy right now, but if you think that this would resonate to you, or if you feel this is coming up later, you can
Hmm.
reach out to me on this email address, or
Yes,
you know
smart.
and then after that, after 2 3 weeks or a month, I'll ask my team to check and see if there's a follow-up opportunity with them, and just try to like and try to search who else in their circle are related to them, so that
Mhm.
if in case if I'm not getting the response from him, like maybe he's not checking his LinkedIn often, like maybe
Yeah,
there is somebody else who's checking their LinkedIn. uh,
yep.
they can reach out to them as well, right? So uh, two like two t- uh, two key takeaways here. One is to uh, understand your client, uh, understand where they are right now, and at their buying journey,
Hmm.
what is important for them right now.
Yep.
And then you don't have to plant your seeds all in one basket. You have to also look for some alternatives as well. So this is what I would suggest, like everyone here.
That is a huge one. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. You can't just harass one single person because you need to meet with them. Like spread out the seeds. That's one thing I live by too.
One of the things I like about you, Terry, is you're really authentic in your message. And you feel like if somebody is talking with you with authenticity, and she's really care about you, or they just want to sell their product, right? You can feel from the messages, right?
Yeah.
Uh, so I want to ask you here that how do you, uh, because there's a lot of people who make these mistakes, who just sell the things who just message for the sake of just selling, right? So,
Hmm.
in terms of your view, what are the common mistakes you see sales professionals make when they try to connect authentically, but end up, coming across as a transactional or insincere or unauthentic, I would say.
Yeah, no, 100%. And that's a big one. Like, you can't just go and just make the sale and then not continue the relationship. That's one of the biggest things is, first of all, let me rephrase. You want to listen to your people. And not just surface listen like for the things that you want to hear, like, oh, they're having challenges in their environment, oh, they're looking to improve X by date and time, but like listen, like when they say, oh yeah, I'm anxious because I'm taking my oldest to go get her driver's license, remember those small details, like take them, internalize them, put them in your notes if you have to, and recall those conversations as the sale evolves. um you'll I just feel like people tend to listen for the surface things, they make the deal, and then the relationship kind of dissolves. For me personally, I continue talking to folks well after either they bought from us or if they didn't buy from us. Regardless, I've made a lot of friends. You are a perfect example, Taha. You and I have spoken for years. I've never sold you anything, but and I never even scheduled a meeting with you actually. But I follow you. I love everything that you've built since Comcast. Like, it's really exciting watching your journey unfold. So, um,
Thank you.
I just don't know how to explain it. Just take a genuine interest in other people and what they're doing. Like, don't be so self-centered.
Yeah, there's every with this day and age when everybody's talking about AI and new technology and everybody wants to win. Uh, like I say the rat race. So even if you are just connecting with someone, just be authentic. Okay,
Hmm.
you don't necessarily needs to sell something to him. Maybe just reach him for the sake of helping him.
Yes. Oh
That
my
is how
God.
you will build that trust. Okay, and no matter if you couldn't make the sales with him, but that person maybe recommend somebody else to you. Or uh, the way you approached him maybe leave some sort of an impression of you to him.
Hmm.
And maybe there will be a job coming in his company, and he will be reaching out to you because he knows that you are genuine and you have those skills which is needed. So there's a lot of things you can achieve, if you're not getting the sales, but the connection matter. So it helps you in networking, it helps you in opportunities, whatever, right? So just try to be authentic. That is my key takeaway on this.
Absolutely, I agree.
Okay, moving on. So, in the sales, when we talk about, so I've been not in the sales, but once you are a founder, you have to also look into the sales part, right?
Yeah.
So, uh, and as a sales professional, when I think about the sales profession, I think about there is always a goal that you have to hit, at the end of the week or at the end of the month. And then you have to also bring in your generosity and authenticity into your, approaches or your the messages. So how do you balance it? Because if you, like earlier you mentioned that you have increased your meetings, for example, from 6 meetings you got to that ninth or 10th meeting part, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
uh, and you have to also be mindful of the time you would give, because if you want to reach a certain target, maybe you have to miss some of the authentication part to your messages, right? So
Yeah.
how do you maintain that balance between being genuine as well as hitting an aggressive sales target?
That's an excellent question, Taha. So, for me personally, and to your point, I can't personalize every single initial message that goes out. But for the folks that my initial message, which is always well researched, the people that engage with my initial message, from there, I'm able to personalize, each interaction beyond that first one. The second part was to the second part of my answer to that question is kind of what we touched upon earlier. Like, never put all your eggs in one basket. You should be planting enough seeds everywhere that wherever you're trying to, target, you should be planting enough seeds that you're not dependent upon one yes or no from this one person that you've been
Yeah,
going
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So, um,
yeah.
you got to balance your relevancy, your authenticity, and then your persistence. Like, it has to be a balance across all three. And then as far as like the high volume stuff, I'm extremely, like I said, research, research, research. Know what your ideal customer cares about. That way, you're able to send a general enough message that it will resonate with the leaders that you're trying to reach, and then you can hyper personalize when somebody engages with you and bring out that authenticity.
Nice, very well said. you know I totally agree with you on this.
Yeah.
So this brings me to one of the things which I have personally experienced, which is how do you balance generosity with the freebies? For example, when we talk about the sales industry, or the sales organization, there's always a thing called free gifts or free lunches with
Mhm.
which people offers just to
Yeah.
attract clients, right? I was I don't want to name the company, but I was part of the group where we were offered a free cruise trip. If we have to, let's say, have the meetings with them. So there are things going on. It's about just hitting your sales, and people can go to any miles, or any, like they can stretch anything, to
Mhm.
get that number. So. Uh, what is your view on it, in terms of offering free lunches? If this is a strategy, which I get it, right? You have to value the time of other people, but
Yeah.
how do you bring in your message if you have to, let's say, offer a free lunch?
Um, so I love to give away free lunches. Okay. I don't see anything wrong with that approach, but I do feel that I feel like authenticity will always win over the freebies. Like if I build a rapport with somebody and they just feel my empathy or my compassion or my authenticity, when they feel that shining through, they're likely to take a meeting, whether I'm inviting them out to lunch or not. So, or offering them a freebie or not. So, I would say, I mean, that's a tough one. Sometimes you do want to sprinkle in the little lunch or the little, bonus to entice somebody to come, but it shouldn't be like the main thing. Like, hey, I'll send you on a cruise if you'll just take a meeting with me. That's crazy. Um, yeah. So I would say you got to find that balance between the authenticity. You should always lead with your authenticity and compassion first. The freebies should be an afterthought, a bonus. Like, hey, by the way, we're doing, a happy hour or whatever the case may be.
Yeah,
Um,
like,
that should be an afterthought.
nice. Yeah, I also agree with you, and just want to add on one of the things here. So, I'm also okay with the free lunch and like giving laptops and
Yeah.
all those things. So, but you have to do your research on who you are giving to. Maybe he just wants to just take it. And he's a habit of you know, uh,
Learning.
like
Somebody just looking to learn. But
yeah. So you have to work on your profiles, and you have to then also do a bit of gambling, right? Because nothing is 100% thing, right? Even if you are getting a commitment from someone, there's a chance that he may back out at the last moment, right?
yeah.
So you have to put your, let's say, whatever you're betting on, you have to make a calculative bet, not just throwing it all out. And then you have to balance that with something like generosity as well, that hey, this is what you're looking for, and just bring some element to it as well, that hey, this is what we were looking at, and this is how our products can solve your problems, and this
Mhm.
is uh, uh, what looks like. So if you will try to solve the problem rather than trying to sell your product, then it will be a good chance, there will be a good chance for somebody buying your watch.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a very good point. I didn't think of that when you first said it. I assumed we were talking about well-researched people already, but yes, absolutely. You don't want to just give, especially a cruise, you don't want to give a cruise away to just somebody who's self-educating necessarily, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, nice, nice. And just to add on one more thing, so there's a lot of in our industry, in the cybersecurity industry, uh, there's also a thing called demos and self education.
Mhm.
For example, if I have developed a product, okay, which is very rare in the market, people will be taking they will be sending me the messages, for example, hey, can we have a demo of your product,
Mhm.
and if you can send us few documentations and few pitch decks or slide decks of the product,
Mhm.
they would not necessarily be interested in buying your product. What they are looking to achieve is to educate themselves, and they can, so that they can build a similar version of that product themselves, right? So you have to be also mindful of who you're approaching, and
Mhm.
whether this person has the authority of buying the products from you or not. Okay, there may be a good there may be a chance, there may be a possibility that he's trying to self-educate himself or the team, and they would be looking out for some similar options from somebody else as well. Okay,
Mhm.
you have
Mhm.
to also understand who you are pitching and what is their agenda behind it.
Yeah. Yes, 100%.
Okay, moving on. I think, Teddy, this would be fun. I want to uh, do a small rapid fire with you. I know you're good in one-line responses, and you have the response for everything. That's what I would have known, like what I know of you. So we'll play this. It will be real fun.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay. So, what is the first thing you do to get into a positive mindset before a big meeting?
Hmm. Well, first thing I do is do 100 weighted push-ups and 55 jumping jacks. Just kidding. Just to get the blood pumping. No, but I'm kidding. I'm being well repaired, being well rephrase, being well prepared and ready to rock is what makes me feel good and ready to go.
Nice. I also agree with you.
With the
So
push-ups or with the
both. So before the big meeting, I would say the best way you can prepare yourself is to know who your audience is, what are you pitching, and try to be precise. And I have seen people use a lot of AI and make pitch decks and content with a lot of infographics and beautiful design, all those things, but it will not work, guys. I mean,
yeah.
it can help you. It can maybe help your audience like to look at your design. They
Mhm.
can give you more attention to it, but that is just they will be praising the person who have designed that pitch deck, not you. Okay, so you have to be
Yep.
very mindful of that, and just whether it's a bullet point, but if the message, if you know what they're looking to hear, and if
Mhm.
you've done your homework well, it
Mhm.
doesn't care if you are just delivering your message in a white presentation, or you are delivering it in a beautifully crafted presentation.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
uh, Next question, Terry. So what is the biggest myth about sales you would love to bust?
Oh, this is an easy one. I see all the time on LinkedIn that cold calling is dead. I will tell anybody watching this podcast that 90% of my meetings are set from a cold call. So cold calling is definitely not dead. Um,
Okay.
in fact, no channel is dead, in my opinion. You have to try them all.
And as a follow-up question, Terry, if you have to, let's say, let's do a small demo here,
Mhm.
guys. This is totally out of blue, and I want to just see how we both interact, and how the things what we have taught you in this podcast, how you will how you can apply these skills, right? So Terry, let's say if you want to approach me, let's say you don't know me, okay,
Mhm.
and if you have to send me a message on LinkedIn, you know,
Mhm.
what would be that message? And just to give you some context, you have done your homework on me, and you know what I'm looking for and what are my customers. So you have done some sort of homework, like on me. But just start that. What are your 2 3 steps? How do you prepare yourself? And
Mhm.
then what will be that message that you will send to me?
Okay, you're talking about like a connection request on LinkedIn, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. So, knowing that you're in zero trust, I would say, hey, Taha, um, Teri Valdez here. I work on, solve problems within the SaaS security space, like misconfigurations, excessive permissions, and access drift issues. This will tie in perfectly with your zero trust initiatives that you're working on. Um, it would be a privilege to connect and join your network and discuss this if you're open to it.
Nice, nice, nice. And since this, I would see. So when I'll get that message, the first thing I'll do is I'll look at her profile. So she mentioned about the zero trust keyword, right? So zero trust keyword is there on my LinkedIn profile on my headlines, right? On the
Mm-hmm.
LinkedIn headline. So this is, I know that the person I'm getting the request from is from the zero trust industry as well. So
Mm-hmm.
so that is very important. Like, and second thing is, she's trying to see what my problems are and what I'm looking for, and she's has done her research on me, and that is what I can see also in the message, right? So there's a good chance of me accepting her message and respond to her, rather than just somebody asking me that, hey, we are business development and we can help you with a lot of resources, and
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, this is something which I want to show you guys. Okay, cool. Now, next question. One thing you can't live without during a busy work day.
Uh, God, can I pick two? One
Yeah.
is my second monitor. I gotta have my second monitor. Okay, I can't work with just my one monitor.
Uh,
The second is a mouse. More specifically, my sparkly mouse has,
oh, uh,
yes, it's sparkly. It has rhinestones. Must have it. But I gotta have a mouse and a second screen at least.
I
What
see.
about you?
So what how I do on a, like a busy day. So I used to I have a habit of taking breaks. So I'll do, let's say I do a short meeting or a
Mhm.
long meeting, whatever it is, and then
Mhm.
I'll go out for a walk. Okay, no matter how small it is, I just want to like get off from my seat and just like take a breather. So that gives me something like this is how I can regain my focus, and
Mhm.
I have to also think about some of the things which is left for me for the day. Okay, which
Yeah.
which I have to target now, because there's always uh, a chance of you losing track of what you need to do next, because there's a lot of things
Right.
going on, and when you do multitasking you have to close like 100 things, so there's a
Mhm.
good chance of something which is the high priority list, maybe you'll be missing out on those things. So
Yep.
as you move out from your seat, it will give the chance to you to rethink what you're working at, and uh, what are your end of the day objectives which you need to close. So you have to reassess that, and then once you're back you can then reshuffle and just focus on the high priority items.
Yep. Yep. I'm the same way.
Got it. So last one. If you weren't in sales, what career would you be in and why?
I think that I would be in customer success. And it's kind of, I feel like it's probably similar to sales. It's just moving over a little bit. But for me, customer success, it would give me the chance to continue strong relationship building, which is something I excel in on the front lines of the sales teams. Um, I've actually really wanted to switch over to customer success sometimes, especially when it struggles some on the sales side of things. I'm like, man, I need a customer success role. But I would love to do that just because you stay in closer contact with people. It's not just, oh, I've sold you something and now I'm moving on to the next target. It's you're there to help these people be able to adopt your solution, get the most value out of it. And for me, it's that long term relationship. We talk until we keep, as long as you're our customer, we're continuing to talk and I'm helping you through everything. And I love to be able to help people and build those genuine relationships.
Nice, beautiful. I love this. Really. So, last thing before we close, give me three words for your sales. If you have to define your sales strategy or the work that you do, how would you define that in three words?
Three words. I would say warm, creative, and a word you gave me, relentless.
Nice, nice. Yeah. So I also would be giving you these three words. I think you're really good in what you do and in how you do it, and you're just being consistent. Because there are days when things will not go your way.
Yeah.
There are days when you have to just wait and be patient. Because there's a lot of people I have seen who gets impatient if
Mhm.
things won't go their way. But you have to just keep grinding it. That is how the life and the world works. There are seasons, right?
Absolutely.
There are summers, there are winters, there are fall, there's spring. You cannot say that, hey, I want to have, can I have winter early then summer? Can I
Yeah.
have, this is how the life works. But
Absolutely.
being consistent to what you do, if you are being disciplined enough, and if you know what you're doing, you have the right process and goals in place, then you'll get it, right? You have to just work your way through, and persistency, perseverance,
Hmm.
relentless are the words I want to give you from this conversation, basically. And that is one of the things which I'm also learning. So it's about keep reminding yourself that you're good, and the things that you're doing will yield results for you. Right? This is how you'll grow, and how things will go your way as well.
100%. I live by those words. Consistency and persistency is key.
Yeah. Thank you, Teddy, very much for coming to the show. It's been a real pleasure to have you with me, and it's been a pleasure for all of our audience. We have grown to more than 10,000 followers on YouTube. Thank you, like all the guys who supported us.
Yeah.
We have now a strong LinkedIn community as well. So all of you guys who are watching this show, please leave us with your comments, with your thoughts, and if you have any questions for Terry or to me, you can reach out to us on LinkedIn. Until next time, Take a very good care of yourself, and tell us about how do you think we are doing in terms of our shows. And if you want to like feature any new guests or new topics, please reach out to me as well. Until next time, take a very good care of yourself. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Taha.